we would also like to put on chandan and tilak. It is said in the Shastras that if you do not put on tilak, you cannot perform the seva of Thakurji. If you do Thakurji sevas at your home, your practice will become perfect, which is why we must put on tilak. If we go to India, Bharat, what's the first thing that the Panditji comes to your house? The first thing he knows is to put on tilak, because without tilak, our seva will be fruitless. So then Kupja, she would do again day after day. She used to go to put on tilak on Kamsa. So again, from far away, Krishna yelled to Kupja, Sundari, Sundari. And then Kupja thought to herself, I'm twisted from 3 places. Children usually run away from me in fear. So then she said, will your sakhas like to put on some tilak? So then Kupja put on tilak on Krishna and his associates very beautifully. And within that time, Krishna became very pleased. So Krishna said, she's twisted from 3 places. But then Krishna said, I'm also twisted from 3 places. And he's saying, Krishna, can you do some plastic surgery of his? So then Krishna, what he did, she gave, holding her body, she twisted her, and then she became a very beautiful woman. She became very beautiful. So after being touched by Bhagavan, by seeing her own beauty, she became, then she grabbed hold of Krishna's clothes, then said, Krishna, you have given all this. This is your own form. So by being merciful on me, the Krishna said, don't be ashamed. There's people here. You're holding onto my clothes. But instead, once I defeat Kamsa, then I will come to you. Which is why it's said that the rati or prema of Kupja is sadharan or ordinary. She said to Krishna that you must come to my house. Krishna said, no, not now, later. This is considered sadharan rati, ordinary. The second is samajasya. What do we call samajasya prem? It is saying the Maheshilo in Dwaraka. Krishna has that much. But he also has his children. What you will see is that as long as there's children, the husband has love. And then that love becomes distributed. Half of it goes to the husband and half to the children. Which is why it's considered samajasya rati. The third type is samartha type rati. Did you have this level of prema that leaving Krishna, there is no one else you can love, but there is ek fact. So give your mind fully to Krishna. Who does he become a bhakta of Bhagavan? Who does he perform puja of Bhagavan? Who does he offer obeisances to? Only unto Bhagavan. This is considered samartha rati. So now the rati of the vrajabasis, it is considered samartha rati. But where is Krishna living? He is living in Dwaraka. So if they live Krishna, their prema becomes half distributed. But the prema of the vrajabasis is absolutely pure and selfless. There is no staining. They live Krishna and Krishna alone. What you will see in this world is that there's one rule. Wherever we go, whoever we love, we go to there. So Krishna, although he lives in Dwaraka, he desires that in between I'll go to Vrindavan and I will meet my mother Yasoda. I will meet all my cowherd associates. And the topmost prema of the Gopis, and of that, the prema of Srimati Radharani. I would like to meet them. At least in a year once I would like to go. And from this, in this world, if one person has 2 wives, if a husband goes to a wife and says, I would like to go and see my second wife, how will the first wife feel? I would only like to stay there. So like this, Jagganath thinks to himself that Rukmini, Lakshmi, although they live in Dwaraka, if indirect sense, I would like to go to Vrindavan and meet with the Gopis and Radharani. And what does Lakshmi do? She stopped feeding Krishna. So instead of 2 dals, sabji and all the chapan bhog, then Krishna's food arrangement was stopped. So then she would look away and Krishna give many types of excuses. So in this Snana Yatra, Jagganath comes from outside with a very beautiful ornamentation. Jagganath will have a very beautiful bath. They'll put on water, agru, guru, and they will bathe Jagganath. Jagganath will bathe so much, that he will bathe so much to the point he gets a fever. Is it possible for Bhagavan to get a fever? The person from whom all the unpleasant things in our life become vanquished. And do you know what he will eat? Although each day he eats grain and rice and dal, but on the day he gets a fever, he will take a medicine that is considered 5. The first thing they do is they massage Jagganath. There's 5 types of Ayurvedic medicines. You cannot even imagine. It is absolute nectar. If you take that medicine, there's a taste in that medicine. So they will feed Jagganath the medicine, and upon getting his fever, do you know what he does? What does he eat? Khichdi. Lekin over there it is opposite. Although they eat grain, so upon getting a fever, Jagganath will instead eat fruits. Jagganath will not eat rice and dal. And do you know what else he will do? So Jagganath made one excuse of the fever. The second is that Jagganath would like to go to Vrindavan. So do you know what he does? So for 15 days, he stays near Lakshmi, and he tries to explain to Lakshmi ji very carefully that I would like to go to Braj and Vrindavan, and I would like your blessing. I will not look at anyone. He stayed with Lakshmi for 7 days just to explain to her that I would like to go to Vrindavan. Then 15 days as they passed, when Jagganath arose from his fever, then after he made up Lakshmi ji. Then Lakshmi ji explained, for 15 days I did not leave anywhere. I stayed with you. You did not give me darshan, and right now your mind isn't good. I would like that for 2 to 4 days I would like to go to Vrindavan. Then Lakshmi ji says, okay, although he stayed here for 15 days, I also got fever. Then she said, I will go today and I'll come back tomorrow. I won't stay for many days. I'm only going there for traveling a little bit. So making this excuse, but instead who goes? Baladev Prabhu and Subhadra ji. And for this Jagganath leaves, because the prema of the vrajabasis is absolutely pure, soft, Vishuddha Sattva. Whereas the prema that is in Dwaraka is Aishwarya, whereas in Braj it is Madhurya. In Dwaraka, all the people consider Krishna to be Bhagavan, as the owner of the universe. When he sits on his throne, everybody sits below, and then the order that Bhagavan gives, everybody has to fulfill those. But everyone considers Bhagavan as Bhagavan. But in Braj, no one considers him as Bhagavan. The cowherd friends, who are you bigger than us? How many cows does your dad have? Now Sridham says, I have 11 lakh. And Krishna, and then some cowherd boy says, Krishna, you lose to me. And then when he's eating, the suckers will eat first. And then Krishna will take that remnant of those suckers. And if in that he sometimes loses, Sridham says, Krishna, take me to Bandirvad. Krishna says, no, I'm a very big person. If Krishna is ever mischievous, she holds on to Krishna's ear and she binds him up. She binds him up. If Krishna ever says, I am Bhagwan, she says, what? There's no Bhagwan in my house. She says, I will show you that I'm Bhagwan. And then when the gopis have the sulky mood towards Krishna, the prema that is in Vraj is absolutely pure. No one considers Krishna as Bhagwan. No, somebody as a cowherd friend, someone as a son. However, Lakshmi ji, she's an Aishwarya Bhakti, and she won't be able to understand that. So Krishna did not take the Lakshmi ji with him. Instead, he took Daubaya and Subhadramaya. And Krishna takes them to Vrindavan. And what did Krishna say? I am going today, I will meet them tomorrow, and then I'll come back by the day after. But then for 5 days, as Krishna goes, for 5 days he doesn't come back. Then Lakshmi ji gets quite angry. He went for today, and he said he's coming tomorrow, but he's gone for 5 days now. It must be that the gopis are purposefully stopping my husband back. My husband wanted to come back, but the gopis didn't let him send back. So then Lakshmi ji, she says, I will teach the gopis a lesson. So do you know what she did first? When Krishna comes back, she breaks the wheel of the chariot. So this shows that the anger that a wife has towards a husband, how great it can be. So she breaks the wheel of Jagganath ji's chariot first. And then inside, she got all this, and she sits on the throne. And all the servants, she tells them, go and catch the gopis and bring them to me. So then Lakshmi ji tells them, my husband came for a couple of days, but it ended up being so many more days. You have purposefully kept my husband back. So the gopis ask for forgiveness. They say, we have made a mistake. We will quickly as possible send your husband back. We will not get late. So within this time, Lakshmi, although she goes back, but when Jagganath ji comes back, it takes him 15 days. And then as soon as he comes, all the dust coming behind his chariots. Then somebody goes and tells Lakshmi that your husband has come. And then she takes her husband to a very high location. And upon that, Lakshmi ji says, in truth, Jagannath, Baladev and Sudarshan, they came on the chariot with dust kicking behind them. Then Lakshmiji says, I'll take them back down. I will close the door and I will not allow them to come inside. Then the first thing she did was Baldev Prabhu. So when they come, there is two things, Lakshmiji's and Gopis. So Lakshmiji closes the door, and when Baldev Prabhu came, Lakshmiji asks, who came? She says, your Jeta. I don't know what that is. There is no anger from this jet. Then next comes Subhadra Devi, who is her family relation. Good. And she says, she has no risk to me, I'll open the door. And then finally when Jagannath comes, your custom has come. And she closes the door. So do not let him come inside. Close the door. So in that time, Lakshmiji says, how many days have passed now? How many days were you meant to go for? You said I will go today and I'll see them tomorrow and come the day after. But how many days came? 15 days. So where you came from, go back. You have no business here. But Jagannath, he is very chalya. He said that the Gopis' sulky mood and Radharani's sulky mood, to make up that mood is not easy. But Krishna is so clever that he can even defeat that. But the sulky mood of Lakshmiji is not even that high. Jagannath knows how to please a woman. Jagannath says, I went to a foreign place for you, and what are you giving to me? He said that when I went to a foreign land, did you bring anything for me? I cannot go empty-handed. But what did you bring? Look. Do you know that sari from Benares? I bought you that. I gave that as donation. And what more? I bought these ornamentations. When a wife is most pleased when the husband gives a sari and I think some jewelry ornamentation. He then said that Jagannath said that pure diamond gold jewelry and for your neck, your body, I gave as donation. If I was late, then what is my fault in it? How could I come empty-handed? I took some time to bring something for you, and that's the reason I became late. When Lakshmi heard this, that Krishna bought very beautiful sari for her and necklace and diamond jewels, that her anger became less. She says, if you were late for me in reality, and if you really bought me sari, then maybe we could have become late. So Jagannath said, do you know what else I brought? Do you know that how you love? There's a special type of rasgulla, a very tasty rasgulla. I brought that as well, and some other sweets, and rasgulla. And upon hearing this, from Lakshmiji's mouth, water would come, and said that you bought rasgulla for me, and you bought diamonds for me, and you bought saris for me. But like this, her anger gradually became less. So then she opened the door, and as she opened the door, then Jagannath comes out. And then Mahalakshmi, she performs the arti of Jagannath, and upon performing the arti, then Jagannath gradually comes inside, and he becomes situated there. So this is why today is the Snana Yatra of Jagannath, and tonight, he's decorated in the form of Ganeshji. Why? Because if somebody is a one-pointed devotee of Ganeshji and performs his puja, if he comes to Jagannath Puri, I worship Ganeshji, I would like to worship Ganeshji, but there is no Ganeshji there. So in that, as he was coming back, somebody said, Jagannath said, come, I will take you darshan. But those who came, they were such Nishtha in Ganeshji. Jagannathji gave him the darshan of Ganeshji. Why? Because Krishna is unlimited. He can assume any form. He can assume Ganeshji, Kali, Sankarji, Ramji. He can take on their forms. So this is the same way Jagannathji is decorated in various different forms. For example, when Ram Avatar comes, Jagannathji is situated in a Ramji form. Likewise, for Narsinghadev as well, he assumes that form. For Varadev appearance, Jagannath takes on the form of Varadev. When it's Krishna's Utsav, he takes on gold and diamond jewelry. So the king's desire was, I would like to worship you in different forms. I would like to make gold and diamonds on the day of my birthday. This is why Jagannathji takes on all these forms in different times. So this is why Jagannathji will also assume the form of Ganeshji. So like today's Jagannathji's Snana Yatra. Ki Jai. Does that make sense? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. चलो Hare Krishna.